As the Trump administration is cracking down on illegal aliens driving the left crazy, of course, an activist judge is cracking down on immigration agents. This Obama-appointed judge, Sarah Ellis, ordered Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino to report to her every day at 6 p.m. for the next week to, I guess, explain agents' actions that Democrats are calling abusive.
Listen, I would love it if they would go arrest the actual gang members who are committing violent crimes, if they'd actually go after criminals. That's not what they're doing. They're literally stopping the abuelas and, little kids and zip tying them. People are traumatized.
Zip tying little kids, all right. He was originally called to testify today over claims he used tear gas for no reason and without warning. We're talking about Bovino there. Now, understand this. An unelected federal judge is in no position to dictate crowd control measures. Period. End of story. It's not his or her role. Take a look at what happened Thursday in Chicago.
Everybody got guns. You. All y'all daughters gonna get watched. They're about to come over here and ram the out of all y'all.
Deep watch.
What?
Mama, hey, bro, y'all better watch.
Yeah, don't be threatening us, bro.
Transport 1 will start getting swarmed over here. Please advise we are blocked in.
Back up.
Are these federal judges clear at all on what's going on there? No, of course not, because it's obvious these agitators keep getting in the faces of agents, trying to provoke them, swarming them over and over, and the agents are yelling for backup. Then came the rocks. The first was thrown at agents where Bovino was actually standing, and video provided by DHS appears to show fireworks were shot toward the agents as well. You can hear the sounds popping.
Get off the street! Get off the street! Get off the street! Get off the street! My street! Get off the street!
And a second rock was thrown at Bovino as well. Again, agents warned that these rioters were not getting back, told them to get back. That's when they had to take measures. Again, the judge probably never done crowd control. That's not her role. So that's when the tear gas came out to keep people safe. How many more warnings are they expected to give? Here to discuss this is border czar Tom Homan. Tom, this judge issued a warning, and by the way, welcome, Tom. Good to see you. Issued a warning that if agents are using this dispersant, they better be able to back it up. And if they can't, they'll lose that. What exactly could have happened if Bovino and those agents hadn't dispersed that crowd as they did? You heard the threats. What could have happened, Tom?
Border Patrol agents could be hurt and they could be killed. Look, first of all, it's a radical decision made by a radical judge. DOJ will appeal it, and we'll get beyond this. However, here's what should happen. The judge, Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, put a Border Patrol uniform on for one shift. Come out there and stand there with the men and women of the Border Patrol and ICE and see how you're going to respond. Look, the Border Patrol agents are trained very well on use of force continuum. They don't go from 0 to 100. There's no use of force against peaceful protesters. But when they impede them, when they threaten them, when they assault them, when they trespass, use of force is used at the lowest level to make someone comply, to the highest level is needed if it's a death, an action of a death threat or serious bodily injury. So these agents are very well trained. Even back in 1984, when I went to the Border Patrol Academy, you're well trained in crowd control and riot control. These are the best trained men and women that come into riot control, crowd control. They're doing exactly as they were trained to do. So I would question the judge. You want to know what's happening? Put on that uniform, stand on that front line, and have stones thrown at you, and see if there's justification for these men and women to protect themselves.
Well, I mean, they were calling people who were, I'm not talking about the people who were busting windows, so people who were walking through the Capitol on January 6th were insurrectionists walking, okay? They had the book thrown at them. But people who are a millimeter away from an agent's face screaming at them and refusing to back up, I don't understand how that's even allowed, Tom, when someone can get that close to the faces of Border Patrol or ICE officials, who are entrusted and charged with defending federal property. I don't understand how that's ever allowed.
This shouldn't be allowed based on the current intelligence of the threats, the bounties against these men and women, the 1,000% increase on assaults. It should not be allowed. These men and women need to protect themselves. And let's remember, they're enforcing laws that Congress enacted and that Congress appropriates them funding to do. And the bottom line is, look at the data. 70% of everybody they're arresting is a criminal. That's just a stone cold fact. The other 30% are national security threats, and those are final orders that ICE is required by statute to execute and enforce. So ICE and Border Patrol are not going to stop doing what they're doing. They're going to keep enforcing law. They're going to keep President Trump's promise to make this country safe again. It starts with criminal illegal aliens.
Tom, there are a number of reports that there's growing friction between you and Kristi Noem, the DHS secretary. A quote is that on one side is border czar Tom Homan and ICE Director Todd Lyons, who have advocated focusing on criminal aliens and those with final deportation orders. On the other side are DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski, Border Patrol Commander Bavino, who've pushed for a broader and more aggressive approach targeting anyone in the U.S. illegally to get those deportation numbers up. Is that report in any way accurate, Tom?
Look, we're all being aggressive. I've said from day one we're going to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. But if you're in the country legally, you're not off the table. We'll arrest you, too. So the numbers speak for themselves, Laura. Most secure border in history of this nation. Over 23,000 missing kids have been found and saved. And we have a record number of arrests and deportation. We're going to hit 600,000 real soon, which will be a historic record. And we're going to keep going. As we get more agents on, you're going to see arrests increase. Twice, 3 times, you're going to see the numbers skyrocket.
Tom, thank you very much. Got 25 million people here illegally. They're taking up a lot of resources.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.